Bismillah, alhamdulillah, salatu wassalamu ala rasulillahi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man wala. Couple of ayat from Surah Taha, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions in ayah 125 and 126. وَمَنْ أَعْرَضَ عَنْ ذِكْرِي فَإِنَّ لَهُ مَعِيشَةً ضَنْكَ وَنَحْشُرُهُ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ أَعْمَى قَالَ رَبِّ لِمَا حَشَرْتَنِي أَعْمَى وَقَدْ كُنْتُ بَصِيرًا قَالَ كَذَلِكَ أَتَتْكَ آيَاتُنَا فَنَسِيتَهَا وَكَذَلِكَ الْيَوْمَ تُنْسَى. This ayah directed toward the disbelievers, but also a severe warning for the Muslims who are quote-unquote secular, because when the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioned to them, they turn away. وَمَنْ أَعْرَضَ عَنْ ذِكْرِي, whoever turns away from the remembrance of Allah Azza wa Jal, فَإِنَّ لَهُ مَعِيشَةً ضَنْكَ, then Allah makes this life extremely difficult, extremely miserable for them. There will be problems from all around the corner. Now many of us can ask ourselves that how come, there are so many disbelievers who lead a very luxurious life in this dunya. They live long life and they die as if nothing happened to them. From the Islamic perspective, of course, as you know, that one of the greatest punishment upon the people who turn away from the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this dunya is that Allah Azza wa Jal did not permit them, did not allow them to make a single sajda, to make a single rak'ah of prayer any day, any week, any month, any year. They just turned away from the instruction and from the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that by far is the greatest punishment, because that is what is going to lead them into the hellfire in the day of judgment. مَا سَلَكُكُمْ فِي سَقَرٍ قَالُوا لَمْ نَكُمْ مِنَ الْمُصَلِّينَ. They will be asked, why have you come to the hellfire? They said, oh, we didn't used to pray. We were not with the people of prayer. So yes, that is by far the greatest punishment Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will put on the disbelievers. But apart from that, even beyond that, we don't know what their lives are going through. We don't know. Just because they are rich, just because some people are in luxury, doesn't mean that they have a peaceful and life full of tranquility. In fact, on the other side, a believer who believes in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and has the tawakkul or the dependency in Allah, the trust in Allah, he goes through so much challenges in this dunya, in this life. Yet he's always happy, he's always thanking Allah Azza wa Jal, because he knows وَالْعَاقِبَةُ لِلْمُتَّقِينَ, the end is for him, that he will be taken to Allah in peace, in satisfaction. He will be having rida or satisfaction or comfort from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he will be admitted in Jannah. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَمَنْ أَعْرَضَ عَنْ ذِكْرِ فَإِنَّ لَهُ مَعِيشَةً ضَنْكًا وَنَحْشُرُهُ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ أَعْمَى. Those people who have turned away from the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they will be resurrected on the day of judgment أَعْمَى, blind. And they will say, قَالَ رَبِّ لِمَا حَشَرْتَنِي أَعْمَى وَقَدْ كُنْتُ بَصِيرًا. Oh Allah, why have you brought us out as blind, whereas we used to see before in this dunya? قَالَ كَذَلِكَ, this is how it is, because أَتَتْكَ آيَاتُنَا فَنَسِيتَهَا, when my signs came to you, you turned away from them. You did not consider my instruction. You didn't consider the Quran. You didn't consider the revelation. You went by your own whims. You went by your own thoughts. You neglected the revelation, the Quran, the Islam, and Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. وَكَذَلِكَ الْيَوْمَ تُنْسَى. That is why today, on the day of resurrection, the punishment will be there, and you can cry, you can scream, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's help will not be there for you. You will be forgotten on that day and will be neglected on that day. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make the day of resurrection a day of peace and tranquility and satisfaction and happiness for all of us, inshallah. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make this life of this dunya full of satisfaction through prayer, through reading of Quran, through our etiquette, through our behavior, and through our submission to the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to the submission of Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, without which there is actually no life. Jazakumullah khairan wa assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.